You're watching Tamaron's Tactics. This is AI War Fleet Command Gameplay Tutorial Part 1. Hello, my name is Nuk Tamaron. My objective with this video series is to show you the tactics that I use so that you can employ them in your game. I'm going to play a full multi-hour game of AI Warfleet Command and walk you through all of my decisions and show you exactly how I did everything throughout. If you watch this video series and then go play your own game of AI War, you're going to be able to just dive right in. If you don't, you're going to spend lots of hours reading wikis and guides and trying to figure out what the heck is going on in this extremely unique and challenging strategy game. Don't do that. Just watch my video. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? So let's get started. I'm going to press Host New Campaign. In the top right is the player setup. In the bottom left is the galaxy setup. It's always you versus two AIs, all right? I've already chosen my name and favorite color when I made my profile. I'm sure you've done the same. Make sure that the AI do not have the same color as you. That would be very confusing. All right, I've set mine as blue and light blue because I like orange. Random Easier is the personality type that is assigned to the enemy AI in this game. There are a whole bunch of AI personality types in this game. Some are harder than others. This is going to choose two from the easier list and just randomly assign them to you. So you don't know what their personalities are, but they won't be the really hard ones, all right? Do not choose a secondary type for your AI because that is a personality type modifier which makes them much more challenging. Don't do that. 7 normal, this is the baseline AI difficulty level. If you put it lower than 7, then they make less optimal decisions. If you put it higher than 7, they become very, very difficult. 7 is what difficulty the game is designed for. For your first game, you may want to play 5 easy or somewhere around there. I'm going to play 7. Last, we have a handicap. This is a resource handicap modifier. If we put it at negative 30% for the enemy AIs, then they will have 30% less resources to work with. That's exactly what we're going to do. It's going to make for sort of an easier game so that I can just show you how to play it. I don't want the hardest game I've ever played right now. I just want an easy game to show you, all right? That's it for the player setup screen. In the bottom left, this is the galaxy setup. Under the map tab, the setup script, for your first game, you may like to choose beginner game. For your second game, I would play Beginner 2, and then I would move into Random Factions and Unknown Factions. For this video series, I'm going to leave it at Unknown Factions 4, which just puts 4 minor factions out into the galaxy somewhere, and I'll figure out what they are when I meet them. The number of planets, I'm going to choose 30 for this video series. Most players like somewhere between 40 and 80. 80 is the full game experience, but it will take several dozen hours to get through that game. 40 is considered the short game, and it's probably somewhere between 8 and 12 hours, maybe 15, okay? I'm going to go ahead and go with 30 just to make a shorter game for this video series. Now, less than 40 results in a harder game because there's less resource to cover before you have to do the really hard things, okay? But that's going to be compensated with this handicap that I've given the AI over here, okay? Next is the map style. There are many different types of ways that you can have the galaxy generated. It can be an X or a maze or all kinds of different things. I'm going to go ahead and choose encapsulated. That gives us a circle around the outside like a wheel, and then on the inside it has spokes going to clusters on the inside. I rather like this map type. I think it comes up with some pretty good maps, and I have beaten this style of map before, so that's what we're going to go with for this series. Leave campaign type at Conquest, and I have all 6 expansions enabled, and so should you. On the Ships tab, you can put Simple, Normal, or Complex. If you do Simple, there's just a few ship types in the game, and it's just very simple. It's like for learning. Okay, you may want to do Simple on your first game and Normal in your second game, and after that, you're going to want to choose Complex. That has all of the ship types in the game from all of the expansions and everything. All right? It'll make for an unpredictable and interesting galaxy. For our game options, combat style should be set to epic slower. This makes for sort of a grand strategy, sort of ponderous game, okay? If you turn it up to normal or blitz, then it's a lot more like an RTS game like StarCraft or something like that, where you have to click and react very quickly. We don't want to do that. for a beginning game or even for once you know the game very well. I don't even like it that way. I like epic slower, okay? And I suggest you put it there as well. Performance profile is the quality of your computer. You're going to want to put this at insane if you have a nice computer. If you have a less nice computer, then choose something lower. You'll just have to test and play around with that. But I have mine at insane. On AI options, right here under Auto AI Progress, by default this is 1 every 30 minutes. I suggest you put that to 0. In effect, that removes the timer from the game and allows you to play at your leisure. And I don't change anything under AI plots. Okay, so these are the settings that we're going to use for this game. Let's go ahead and hit new map seed a couple times, and we'll just come up with a nice randomized map here. Now, each of these ones that have the circle and the little icon on it are options for which system we could start in if we chose to. We cannot start here or any of these in the middle, but all of these with the circle are eligible for us to choose. All right. I like to select a system that has either 3 or 4 gates coming out of it to start. Okay. If you choose one that just has 2, then your options are pretty limited on where to expand to next. And if I were to choose, say, this one that has 5 exits coming out of it, you can tell that by the X5 there, okay, then it would be hard to defend and I would have an awful lot of neighbors. It would be difficult to manage that many exits out of your home system. So we're going to go with 3 or 4 gates coming out of the start. Let's choose this one right here, okay? I'm going to left click on it and it'll turn it orange because that's my favorite color. If we then right click it, it's going to bring up a list of every ship type in the game. You can choose one of these and you will have that ship available to you at the very beginning of the game. Let's go ahead and just choose the tank. That's a pretty straightforward ship that's very much like the bomber, which is also one of the other ships that you get to start with. So now that we've got everything set up, we've chosen our players, we've chosen our galaxy setup, we've generated our map, and we've chosen where we're going to start and which ship we're going to start with, we're ready to hit start game. It's important to know that the button to pause the game is P. P to pause it. Okay, so I'm going to press start game, and then at 1 second into the game, I'm going to press P. All right, now that we're into the game, there's one more settings screen that we need to go to before we can actually start playing AI War. In the bottom left, you've got Map, Stats, and Controls, CTRLS. Press Controls, and that's going to bring up your in-game controls menu. There's a few changes that we're going to want to make here, and these are going to be galaxy-wide changes to how your empire is run. The first one is to check this button that says Prevent Warhead FRD. If we happen to build nuclear missiles, that makes them less dangerous, is all it does. In the middle column, I like to change Auto Build Mark I Engineers from 0 to 2 by sliding this to the right 2 notches. That's going to automatically make 2 of my cheapest build and repair drones, the engineers, in every planet I colonize. That way, if one of them is damaged, they'll be able to repair the other, and it'll give me a head start on building things in that new system. I also like to always build 1 remain rebuilder in every system. That way, if one of my installations or buildings is destroyed, it'll automatically go and rebuild it. I also like to check Auto FRD Engineers and Auto FRD Rebuilders. That just automates the engineers and rebuilders so that I don't need to micromanage their repairs. On the rightmost column, I always check Auto Build Energy Collectors. Every time I capture a system, I'm always going to want to build 1 energy collector on that planet, without exception. And this box just makes it so it's done automatically, and I won't ever forget. Lastly, let's change auto kite behavior from 0 to 1,000. That's just going to make it so that our ships will always go to their maximum distance when they're firing their weapons, and they will back up if necessary to try to stay out of range of the enemy's guns. That's all I change here, all right? Now that that's done, hit Apply and Save, and then go back to your controls screen and hit Copy to Disk. Not from disk, to disk. That's going to save all of these settings, and then in the future, on your 2nd and 3rd and 100th game of AI War, you can just come back to the screen and hit Copy from Disk, and it'll copy those right here, and you won't need to ever touch those sliders again. Okay? So that's it for the first video in this video tutorial series. Stick with me, and we're going to go through this entire game of AI War, and you're going to learn exactly how to play it from start to finish. Again, you're watching Tamaron's Tactics. My name is Tamaron. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the continuation of this gameplay tutorial series.